Welcome into Garnet and Grub, presented by Tico People's Gas. I'm Catherine Phillips, alongside award-winning chef Travis Johnson. He's the Executive Culinary Director of Seminole Dining here on the campus of Florida State, and he's going to walk us through a delicious game day recipe today. Chef, what do you have for us?
Today we have a really great holiday recipe. It's an apple strudel.
Okay.
But there's a lot of components that make it really special. And so we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Let's do it.
All right, so we started out, we have our puff pastry. We've got that rolled out, but we're gonna come back to it. Some of the other components that are gonna go into this today are spiced apples, white chocolate, craisins, a almond and vanilla pound cake,
Okay.
a little bit of brown sugar, some heavy cream, some toasted walnuts, my favorite, a pecan bourbon for the sauce.
All right.
Which really brings it together. So there's a few different components to this. We're gonna start out with the walnuts, and I'm gonna turn on the gas on medium-high, and all we wanna do is lightly heat the walnuts. We're gonna add a little bit of raw butter, and really all we're doing is sweating the walnuts and bringing out some of their flavor. All right, next, we wanna work on the spiced apples. You can pick up a canned apple at the store, it works great. So I've got my pan nice and warm, and a little bit of vanilla, some of the bourbon, and just a little bit of sugar. We're gonna let these cook down for about 3 to 5 minutes.
Now you're using natural gas, so what's the benefit of that?
I think one of the benefits of natural gas, especially since there's different methods in this recipe, is I can really control the heat. Like right now, I'm trying to get that heat nice and hot so I can caramelize these apples and bring all those flavors and fuse them together. And natural gas allows me to control that heat a little bit better.
Okay.
You can start to smell those apples. It smells great. Okay, we're gonna pull these off, and now we're gonna chill these back down because these are gonna go inside. So we're gonna go ahead and put these in the fridge, and we're just gonna want them right 5 or 10 minutes or so in the fridge.
Okay.
All right, next let's start the sauce. So we start out with equal parts butter and brown sugar. And you can tell by the ingredients this is gonna be pretty good.
Oh yeah.
This is on a medium to high heat. We're gonna allow that to continue to cook. All right, this has been going for about 5 minutes now. You see how it's starting to come together and thicken up. I'm gonna reduce the heat because we don't want it to boil. And now it's just on a low simmer. And we're gonna finish the sauce with just a little bit of heavy cream. You wanna be very careful when you put the cream in. You end up with a nice, smooth caramel sauce. But it's not done yet. We've gotta add a little of the pecan bourbon. So we're gonna allow this to cook for another 2 or 3 minutes, just on low.
Okay.
So while this is simmering and finishing up, let's go back and make our strudel. So we have our puff pastry, it's been laid out, it's ready to go. You can buy these at the grocery store, they come in packs of 2, they're great. So we start out, we lay the pastry out into 3 different sections, and we're gonna come in here and make notches on the sides. And if the dough gets hard to work with, you can always take a little bit of water and just kind of brush it on. It makes it a little more pliable.
Okay.
So now we have our foundation down, and we are going to get our apples out of the fridge. So we'll start with a layer of apples on the bottom. And you can already smell those with the
They smell incredible.
vanilla and the bourbon. Put a nice layer on the bottom. And then we take our pound cake, layer in the pound cake. And when you make this, you have to think less is more. You want to have the right amount of ingredients, but not too much to overfill it. Next we'll take a little bit of white chocolate and some of the craisins, and finish it with those walnuts that we sweated earlier with a little bit of butter. All right, now our foundation's ready. Now we get to wrap it. This is where some people kind of get nervous. They say, well, what if my braid doesn't look very good? Once it bakes, it looks great. We come in here, we wrap both sides. And this is fun to do with the family. The kids or brothers and sisters want to come over and make these.
So you just crisscross them all.
You're just crisscrossing the whole way down. And when we get to the end, I'm going to flip the end up and then work backwards, just like this. What do you think?
I love it. I never would have known how to do that.
All right, and before we put it in the oven, we're going to take and just brush. I've just cracked 1 egg. Let's do a light egg wash. So at the top, get some good color to it as it bakes. And then if you like, we can take a little bit of sugar Now you get a non-stick pan, or you can use parchment paper, whatever you like. Transfer this over. And this is going to go in the oven about 10 to 15 minutes. You just want to brown it on the outside, and remember, all the ingredients are cooked inside, so we're just warming everything up.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and put this in the oven. All right, the strudel's almost ready in the oven. Let's check on the sauce. The sauce looks great. Take this off here, and we'll pull that strudel out. Oh, it smells incredible. Wow. See, the braid really doesn't matter. Once you start going, oh, it all looks great. We start making it. All right, let's cut this up. And we're gonna slide this onto the platter. Let's top it off with the sauce. You can smell that bourbon.
It smells like Christmas.
All right. Are you ready to taste?
Let's try it.
All right.
It's so
It's
good.
good.
It's refreshing too. Well, for full details on this recipe and more information on how you can incorporate natural gas at home, at your business, or at your next tailgate event, go to peoplesgas.com/cooking.